we welcome the night.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Horror Night Oasis, the radio show where we discuss all the latest movies and news from the world of horror. Joining me tonight, as always, is my co-host, Ian. Ian, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, we're here. No, we're here. Yeah. We're still continuing on this Coulrgoria Marathon, and it just keeps getting better. And we're here with our third film of this 4-film series. We got one more week, which we know next week. So we already planned out that one before the third show. But we're here, and we got a special one. But I don't know if it's as special as 8-Ball Clown. We're still trying to reel in our senses from last week's episode. But this one, I don't know. I was looking back because again, we're going to get into the review here shortly, and I was thinking like, what's the top one? You know, because again, once we get into the review, we'll discuss that after the fact, and I'm still unsure. So we'll get into that here shortly. But our film for review tonight is Clown from 2019, last year. This was a film released by the Asylum, and I'm sure if you knew that beforehand, Ian, you probably wouldn't have. We probably wouldn't agree on this choice. But we were like thinking. Right. Could anything be worse than 8-Ball Clown? And that's up for discussion. We'll get into that. But yeah, Clown. And this was a ripoff to come off of It Chapter 2. So this was released, I guess, before, as Asylum usually does, mockbusters. But even in that, they didn't really even do what they planned. I don't know what they were trying to do with this one. That's another thing about this film, which we'll discuss here shortly. There's problems. There's problems. But that's this marathon. This whole fucking marathon's been problems. But okay, Clown. 2019. Okay, so it's about these group of teenagers going to a concert / music festival, whatever. They're having bitching back and forth, like, oh, I thought you said it was a concert. Oh, it's a music festival, blah, blah, blah. And so they stop off the side of the road in the mountains somewhere, and the only name I wrote down was Davy because that's the first name that came up, and then after that I didn't decide to write down any more names because it was completely unnecessary. So Davy, he has to go pee, and he takes a sweet-ass time And then he just decides to, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go take pictures of random things and send them to all the people waiting in the cars for some odd reason that's not even explained or why. It's just a plot device to get him from point A to point B. And point B is the abandoned town, city, festival, carnival place that has a church, a gas station, and a circus tent. That's it. That's this whole fucking town. Like, what kind of fucking town is it? But before that, we have like this preview, like that comes right out of like Texas Chainsaw 3D, where it has these people going after the township that are clowns. I guess they're just clowns. They're just clowns. And something happened there, and the preacher, it doesn't matter. It's just a plot device to show that there's a kid that survived, and he cut off the head of a guy that was trying to shoot him, and he killed his mother and his brother, and I guess his father. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't fucking matter. You're just left to know that there's a kid that survived, and that kid, 25 years later, is a clown that is still running this carnival in the middle of nowhere. And of all fucking names, this is like, I can live with 8-Ball, I can live with Wiggles or whatever the clown's name was in Clowntergeist, but the clown name in this one is just, they're not even trying, Ian. They weren't even trying when the fucking name, they only say it once, and that's fucking good enough, because his name is Thoth. Thoth. That was the dumbest fucking name. And this whole fucking movie is just one big dumb thing. The characters,
right.
This was just mind-numbing how fucking stupid. I mean, yeah, it's a movie. It's Asylum. It's a cash grab. There's no, that's the main problem I have with this film. There's no identity to it. It doesn't try to do anything, and then it just loses its footing, like, not that far into the film, where it's just them running around. Like, you think, okay, them in a fun house being chased by a clown. You know, it's been done. You know, like Fright World's done it, Fun House, you know, it's more, you know, even though he's not a clown, but still, like people in a fun house getting chased by something, you know, Fun House Massacre, you know, it's been done. But this one is like, it's pulling out of all these different things, and it's trying to be, you know, an imitation of it, you know, because that's the film that's trying to rip off and mock you, you know, the mockbuster of. And they fell at that. I mean, there's one scene that they do that in, but it harkens back to the first It Chapter 1 with the dolls. And it's not clown dolls, it's just baby dolls, you know. And
yeah.
But anyway, they go into the fun house, Davey does, and then he gets knocked over the head with a mallet. And then the other friends, there's a variety of different people. I guess I have to go through some of them. There's the two jocks, the quarterback and the linebacker, who I think are homosexual, even though, because they're very friendly. I mean, sure, they're friends probably, but it just seemed like they were gay, like, or hiding it. I mean, it could have been just subconsciously I was thinking that, but the way that they were acting and always having fun and doing stuff like that, it just seemed like there's there's a underlying context there that's subliminally that they're gay. And you know, again, that's what my intention. You know, I was thinking that. You know, of course, it couldn't be that way, but it portrayed that. You know, it leapt off the screen at me. Like that's they're kind of gay. And I'm not saying that, you know, they couldn't be. You know, I'm not saying that they are or they weren't. I'm just saying that I've been in high school. I know, you know, people that were on the football team, and I know they weren't. You know, they were pretty friendly when it comes to, hey, look over here, and they had their dick out. You know. So I'm not, you know, it's not too far-fetched to think of that. And so we had those two kids, you know, because they were doing their thing and they were stupid. And then you had the brother, what was his name? I already forgot his name.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, Davey.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, their names are superfluous to anything. So Davey is knocked out, and like he has a brother, and he goes after him. And then like there's the two sisters, and then I guess the other one that's a sister, but the friend, the one that looked like a boy and a girl, but I don't know exactly what he was or he was. I don't know if it was his sister or his brother. I think it was a brother. And we'll get into that fucking mess in a minute with the brother and then the fucking ending. So anyway, they go into the circus funhouse and they just roam around for the remaining of the movie, and they just aimlessly walk around. They walk in the doors. They lose their. There's like no sense of like context of like how big. I mean, you're assuming from the outside it's a pretty damn big funhouse because it's pretty good size, and then because like it goes into a mountain and like there's like a. It's so out of fucking place. When you have to sit down and describe it, because there's just all the funhouse looks like a guy who owns like a farmhouse decided to on Halloweens, and usually only on Halloweens, is like dress it up and like put like the wood sheets and wood pallets everywhere and some fencing and some strobe lights and some different colored lights, and like every Halloween he makes like a fall laser tag house. Like he has like all the get-ups and like he turns the strobe lights on, and then because the way that it's set up is like because it looks like a laser tag like place, honestly, even though it's like supposed to be this fun house. But when the lights start flashing later on, it's like this looks like a fun house. Not a fun house, but a laser tag, just done in a farm. And again, it's the Asylum. They do stuff on the cheap. And this whole fucking movie is done on the cheap, even when it comes to the fucking script and characters, because there's like all these fucking things that are fucking idiotic. And like we dealt with idiotic with 8-Ball Clown, but this one is like they're not even trying. Like at least that kid, he was like wanting to make fun of, do something himself. And then this one just comes along and it just screams like, assembly line, like this, legs go on, head go on, hair, it's just like paint by numbers almost, and it was just dumb. And like, so the characters are the worst things in this movie. Like, you think the clown would be, and the clown's, there's a reason for the clown. It doesn't really get brought up that much, and they don't do much with it, sadly. Like, they have a clown. It looks okay. It's kind of a disgruntled looking Danny Elfman, the way that he looks. In clown makeup, and it just and a little taller too, but he's basically looks like a disgruntled Danny Elfman. They needed to play some Oingo Boingo. They've been at least halfway decent, but he's just walking around, peeking his head out behind corners of the wood and the parts of the fun house, and there's a backstory, like again, there's a backstory to the clown, but they don't do anything with it. And then like there's like even certain parts that come up later on that you think they're going to do something with, and they totally shoot themselves in the ass. Like why even have that? I mean, it's there. I mean, they try to do like a Psycho 2, Friday the 13th Part 2 with like the head of like not the head, but like the peeled face of his mother that died. And like you'd think like, okay, that'll come into play later on in the movie. It doesn't. It's just like, oh, it's there. It's a plot device, and it doesn't even get used. Like they bring it up, and then it doesn't even get used. They forgot half the fucking movie at the fucking ending of this thing. Like there's like clips or parts of this movie that just like are missing. Like, well, that's an integral. That's a good part of the movie that you need. And like it even one of the characters even talks about it, and then like they just forget it, and then they freeze frame on the end of it, and it's like, oh my god, this movie. So where am I at? So there's like parts in the characters and the interact. There's the big, like I forgot his name, like Gordo or something, but he's the big tall sort of nerdy guy, and there's a scene in here where he just gets sucked into a room. And something happens, I don't know what happens, but something happens where, like, it makes the whole fucking room shake. And then he comes out, and he has his ankle broken and bones sticking out. And the girl is there and says, oh, are you okay? Can you walk? Like, come on, lean on me. And then they get into the tunnel of love, And then it says, how are you feeling? Hopefully you'll be able to walk soon. Yeah, he has a bone sticking out of his fucking leg, of his ankle. He's going to be able to walk soon. And then there's the part, it's like, that's one of the things here, like, they get attacked, and, like, they come back, like, there's the one, like, the brother, I guess, I think he was the brother, or the one that was going on doing all the heroic shit. And he gets, the one gets attacked, and then, like, or was it the linebacker? I don't know which one it was. No, they both get killed different ways. But there's a scene where, like, he's trying to save, I think, the one, and, like, he gets pulled away, and, like, Throff gets the mallet and starts whacking him, and, like, blood and entrails are, like, it's showing, like, flying up, and then, like, he's fine. So throughout half this movie, whenever someone got injured or hurt and just come back, or, like, later on, like, in my mind, I was thinking of the characters, oh, he'll be fine, it's just a flesh wound. Like, the one that got, like, her like, piece of glass, oh, my God, that one girl got it rough. But I forgot what happened to her initially. She got set on fire, and then something else happened to her. No, what else happened to her, Ian? I know something, like, she was, like, she had all these marks all over her, and then she was set on fire, and then the glass blew out in front of her face, and then she had a piece of glass in her face, and in my head, like, oh, it's fine. Can you see? I was going in my head. I was having my own fun because of the stupid dialogue. Oh, man, there's a lot of other things we'll get at. I just want to get off my chest, but it's just like everything's there. I want to get it out. But, Ian, I'll let you discuss it. I mean, overall, it's bad, all right? It's bad. It's not as, like, it's rough. It's not good. It's not, it's just, like I said, paint by numbers, vanilla. You've seen it done a million times, and it's just a cash grab. And there's, like, there's no thought. There's nothing to it. It's just, it's there, and they're just running around constantly. Nothing really happens. And what backstory you get of the clown you'd like to see done a little bit more, even though it is a rip-off of other things, like, again, Friday the 13th Part 2, with the whole head thing that doesn't get used at all, apparently. And then there's, like, parts that just, like, doesn't even, like, again, we'll get into the finale. The finale is a big fucking problem. But, Ian, I'll let you ramble on a while, and then we'll go back and forth on it.
I mean, good Lord. It just felt like it just went on, and hardly, anything happened. There was a few good scenes here and there, but the acting was, especially in the beginning, the first part of the movie, the acting was atrocious. It reminded me of, like, those improv, where there's, like, just, a bunch of actors that, like, just create a scene and they just don't know where they're going with this. And, like, there's a few, that was one of the problems I had with it, was just, like, the acting was kind of off throughout the whole movie, especially with the clown guy. And I get it. He's supposed to be weird and stuff, but, and, and I agree with you, like, they did nothing with the clown, like his backstory or anything, like, and my cat just tried to kill me. That just threw me completely off. Anyway, and with the, like, I was just sitting there thinking, like, you could see outside through the slats on the building. It was just like, there was a door and it looked, rickety. I was like, just tackle the damn wall and break free. I was like, that's the first thing I would have done.
Yeah, those two were like, the one nerd, he was pretty burly and he could have done it. And then the two quarterbacks, they're fast. All they had to do was just, like, get behind him, have him run, push him into the thing, even though he probably wouldn't have liked it too much. But, again, it's not that hard to have a group of people just run up against the wall and it'll fall over. I mean, I know they're trying to make it, like, this big high-tech thing that it wasn't, because they're like, oh, the steel traps. And then, oh, that's what happened. She gets trapped between the door, not the door, but the walls that were closing in on her. She got set on fire. The doors, the walls smashed her, and then she got the glass And like, oh, it's fine. You know, she lived through all that. From the glass to the face.
Like, honestly, I didn't even pick up on it trying to be an It spoof or anything. Like, I didn't see that one.
No, it loses that. I mean, besides the doll scene, that's the only thing from It that it got.
Yeah. And
that's the other thing. She got attacked by dolls. That fucking movie hated her.
Yeah. Like, and that was a weird thing, too, because, like, he pulled a lever, and I guess they're, like, remote controlled or something. Like, I was very confused about how these dolls were getting up and walking around like they were possessed. And when he was just sitting there flipping switches and pulling buttons. And I'm just like, you know, just like, what are you doing? And it made no sense. Like, made, like, absolutely nothing. Like, I don't think there was really a coherent, you know, other than just, oh, it's because, or just in this because.
Yeah, because.
And
that word's coming back. This is the because marathon, and more than anything, fucking clowns. Because it just because, that's the reason. But yeah, honestly, there's like, what backstory we did get on Thoth. Again, Thoth. That's the worst fucking clown name. And, like, the mother named him that. That's his actual name in the movie. Because they have, like, video footage, which is done awfully, where they edit it, they're like home movies, but it's edited to where it, like, shows, like, the kid's face, and then it cuts back to, like, it's edited together and not a coherent, you know, home movie, you know, where it goes back and forth. It's edited, and it's awful. I hate shit like that when it's in a movie. It's just like, it's not the way it does it. You know? I mean, I understand if you have the camera turned on and off, yeah. I mean, like, record and all that, but this is just like in camera, on VHS, it's edited to, I hate that. It's one of my pet peeves when it comes to not found footage, but like home movies. It's edited, like zooms and close-ups and, you know, this scene, and then, like, the other person's talking, and it cuts to that thing. That's not how it works, all right? But then, so they do that, and then, again, like you said, there's no real reason. Well, there is. I mean, it's the best reason we got in any of these movies so far with clowns.
Right.
Is that his mother wants him to continue the legacy of the circus, you know, of the Big Top. And apparently that means just killing people, I guess. I mean, it's not like he's really killing. Well, he kind of is, but he isn't. I mean, he's just like after them, you know. But like he doesn't. Well, he killed the one. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like he was and wasn't, and he's not really too evil. I mean, at least he's not like. At least he's a person, you know. He's not just like showing up at random places. You know, the whole thing is like he lives there at this Big Top for 25 years, so he knows the place in and out. So I'll give that to him. But there are certain parts where like he's like behind them, and then next time, you know, like when they're at the gas station, and then like he's looking behind the tree, and the next thing you know, he's bringing the kid in and sitting down on the couch. So again, it's not too far fetched, but there's a reason for the clown, and that's that's a big plus with our past two films. So again, it's just like it's just very paint by numbers, and not too much. Just them walking around. They get lost, like we need to go here, and then they go through the tunnel of love, and then they go through the barrel roll, and that's where one person gets attacked, and then he turns that person into a Jack in the Box. And then it's like there's a lot of tourist trap in there too, where all the clowns are everywhere, and they have to. I mean, there was potential. It could have been a fun little movie, but instead you decided to go to easy cash grab route because it's sort of I'm saying again a lot, but the whole thing where you have to go get the ticket, put it in the slot to get into the door, into the tent, and then go through there, and then they don't even have that much to go on with. And like again, as soon as they go in, it's like first it's like a mountain, and then it's again that the whole tent circus big top is like convoluted in itself. I mean, you truly have to watch the film because it is hard to really describe because it's just a lot of wood, and then it's not, and then there's a tunnel of love inside the mountain, and then there's a barrel roll, and then there's just random, wood flats, and just it looked bad. Like I said, it looked just like they were filming in a dude's farmhouse, and decided, make it look like a laser tag place and try to, because they have like the certain rooms, like again they have the doll room, and then they have like the show room. They don't even have like a ring. Like I don't even know what they were what kind of circus this was back in the day, and I don't even know what caused the clown folks, the people of the disgruntled town to come kill the clowns. They don't even really give you that much of a reason. They just, remember that scene in Texas Chainsaw 3D at the beginning of the movie where the people come and killed the Sawyer clan? Yeah, let's do that at the beginning of this one. So there's like all these other films that they're trying, and there's just no reason, no rhyme or reason. It's just like we'll string together a somewhat cohesive story that doesn't really make too much sense, and then we'll take some from column A and column B and column C and other horror films, and there we go. We got a movie.
Right.
And it's the Asylum. They do it on the cheap, and they just do it because it's ridiculous sometimes. It's not one of the better Asylum movies. This one definitely has a lot of problems.
Yeah. And, it's just, I was very confused. Like, at the beginning of the film, the dad was like, just, the dad and the daughter were talking, and she was like, Daddy, why are you killing everybody? That's an awful acting. She was like, just one more, darling, just one more. And she's like, well, you're dead, Daddy. And then that's when they killed the whole family. So I guess, like, their dad was a serial killer. I don't know. I was very confused by this whole thing.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it some sense to it, but it's very like, why did the kid rip off a dude's head? How did he do that at like 8 years old? It's like he was a very young kid, and that was a bad CGI. But no, it just reasons.
Just because.
But yeah, and then the ending. Let's get into this fucking ending. So the one, he's going around trying to save everybody. All right, I don't know his name. I forgot to write it down. I don't care. But he's supposed to be the hero of the group. And earlier on, he finds the clown's living quarters, and he watches more home videos of him, the clown, his brother, and his mother. And then he puts the tape in his bag for some reason, and then he finds the mother's peeled face. All right, and he decides to put that in his bag because that's normal, what you do. And so again, that's the first thing that I got. He snuffs it and everything. He's like, oh, it's gross. I'm gonna put it in my bag. That's gnarly, dude. That's definitely gonna get chicks. No, but he does that, and then you're thinking, okay, so we're gonna do, as I mentioned before, Friday the 13th Part 2, or any movie where a protagonist dresses up like a mother in a movie to cause confusion in our villain character, right? And so by the time this part comes around where he decides, all right, I'm going to put this mask on. He puts the mask on like, I'm coming for you, clown, and then nothing. He goes and he cuts a fuse, which shuts the door that locks the clown, that traps him, because the circus, the tent's on fire because of the fire scene earlier on where he decides to do the fire trick and he doesn't put out the fire. The door locks, and then the movie ends because there's the scene where, like, the brother is dead, right? And like, oh, I'm not going to leave him. I'm going to put him in the tunnel of love. He'll be fine. And there's no callback to that whatsoever. The clown sees him, sniffs him, and then the one brother doesn't go back to save the brother. So the brother's just dead in a tunnel of love in the car seat. The one that has to put the mask on doesn't ever see the clown. False. Doesn't even come near him. He cuts a wire, and then you see the door shut on the clown, and then we have the scene of the two people, the two sisters that escape, and then it freezes on that, and that's the end of the movie. So there's a movie missing. There's parts of this movie missing.
Yeah.
And that's a main issue I have. Is it's like, wait a second, where's the rest of the movie? Wait a second, what happened? Because like, oh, I'm gonna come get you, clown, and then he cuts a wire, and that's it. Like that. Why'd you put on the mask? Why'd you put on his dead mother's mask if you're just gonna go cut a wire? Oh my God, Ian, I swear, man.
Yeah, and I honestly kind of saw something like, I was like, this is too old, and this is a very old building. I was like, this is probably super flammable. I bet that's how they're going to end this movie. They're going to end it with them catching this building on fire. And I was like, yep, there it is. I was like, also, why would he push when he dropped the phone into the ticket booth, why would he just oh, here's your phone. I'm going to hurt you.
He grabbed and reached for his phone, and he was scared half to death. It's not like if someone slid their hand across your arm or something. He literally grabbed his phone and he jumped back oh shit, my phone. I was like, what the fuck? It was so out of character. It was so not warranted because it's not like he literally just pushed the phone to him and he jumped. He's looking for his phone. Why would you jump when your phone is in your hand? It's not like there was a bug on it or anything.
It would have been funny if he would have dropped it again. But, yeah, I was just like, wait, so you're going to give him his phone back, and you're going to wait for him to walk into the building, then you're going to attack him. I'm like, you had a great opportunity to inflict some harm, but you wait for a while.
No, he waited until he entered the premises of the... And again, that's the whole point. If he's able to do that, then why not just wait till he enters the fun house? And, again, what kind of fun... if he wants to continue... I don't know. There's just, a lot of things. There's, again, even the phone... The another thing with the phones where, they're calling 911 and, not 911, but, 911 and other phones of their other friends' phones, and it's coming up the fun house. So there's 8-ball clown again with the phone, but at least this there's how does all their phones he says call me and it's the same messaging to get. So it's another little convoluted thing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that that brings up that point. It's how is he redirecting it? Is he going to the local Radio Shack or whatever they have in that town to buy all this stuff? It's or is he stealing things? I want to know how he's getting the technology to do all this. I figured maybe some of it was left over, but transferring over cell phones would be kind of higher tech, because when he was a kid, cell phone, when he got started, the cell phones weren't even really around. So I'm how is he doing all this? And I was this is bringing up more questions. Also, when you see the family getting murdered, and you see him there's on one of those videos, you see him running to his mom. Who the fuck was filming that? Who was filming that home video? Did he just turn it on?
It's just weird. Why does he have that as a keepsake, too? I know it's your mother's death, but, who was, there was, like you said, it brings up so many questions, and it's just, there's no answers. It's because, that word again, it's a plot point. Oh, let's have him watch this movie. It doesn't matter how this footage is filmed or why this one character wants to put on his mom's face, and you've seen it done before in another movie, but there's no reason for him to do that to begin with. There's no payoff to anything, and there's just scenes in this movie where just oh, character died off screen. Here's this, and it just, oh god, it's bad. And apparently, I don't even know how that big kid died. I forgot. The one that had the broken ankle with the bone sticking out.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened to him.
It was very forgettable.
Yeah, because I know they saw the Jack in the Box, and then after that, I have no idea. I literally forgot how he died. Yeah, this is one of those. Like I said, this and Clowntergeist are probably going to be like the ones that you'll forget, and it's already happened because I've already forgotten most of this one. But 8-Ball Clown is going to be the one that sticks with you when you don't want it to.
Exactly, but that's just because it's like you're sitting and just like this was just pointless. Why?
Yeah. Yeah, this is just popcorn. This is just fodder. This is nothing. This is just a forgettable thing you could pop on. Like, oh, it has a few things here and there. Like, and it's not bottom of the barrel Asylum movies because again, I'm a pretty big aficionado when it comes to Asylum films. But it's definitely one of the lower grade Asylum movies, and especially one that doesn't really know what it's trying to be because there's no identity to the film. It doesn't stick to one thing.
This marathon has that theme a lot. Even my wife, she walked in and she was like, "Oh, is this you're watching your movie?" I was like, "Yep." And she was like, "What is the movie about?" I was like, "Honestly, walking right now, because that's all they seem to be doing. Is just walking." I was like, "I have no idea." I was like, I was just telling her like some of the scenes that would happen, and I was like, and I told her about the family, I guess, were murderers. It was not clear, and these kids went looking for their buddy who went for a long piss, and it's all his fault. Did you? My phone has been acting weird today.
Yeah.
Did I lose? Yeah, my phone's been kind of weird. When I called in a little late because all my contacts were gone for a second. So, yeah, my phone's being a piece of shit. But just that whole, it was all that one boy's fault that went to go take a long pee and just decided to wander around. If he would have just...
fuck you, Davey.
And
fuck you, Davey. You caused all this.
He really did. And I just I want all of these people to die. Like, I did not care. I wanted them all to die in the movie just to be over with. Because I was like, just end it. And they kind of did just end it.
Yeah, they did, basically. And like, oh, you want this to end? Here's no reason, nothing. Just like, end it. It's like, I don't know what happened there at that ending. You just rushed everything. It's just so fucking weird. There's just like at least like another minute of like footage that's like that's gone. There has to be at least a minute of stuff that's like that could have helped, or maybe not. I mean, of course, I'm talking about the Asylum here, so you probably don't have it. Because there's that like he put the mask on, like, all right, let's do this, clown. And then, let's see, Mama's boy, like, I'm coming for you, Mama's boy. And then he never, ever is in the vicinity of the clown. He goes, cuts a wire, walks up the clown, and then he burns to death. Like, even him. Like, it's just the two girls walking away, and it freeze frames on them. You're left to conclude everybody else is burned to death. Like, did he save his brother? Who knows? Did he, the dead brother, did he get him? No. Is what happened to him? He's just burned to death. It's just those two girls that I think they're sisters, are the only survivors. There's no conclusion. I even watched after the credits just to see if there's anything. Maybe there's a sequel bait, but it doesn't seem like there would be one because like they're burned to death. I mean, I could see there could be a sequel later on down the road, but as it is, this movie was just not good. And like I said, it was bad. I mean, it's bad, but not like 8-Ball Clown bad. But this is just one of those forgettable, like, oh, that's a bad movies.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I was saying I was disagreeing with you, but yeah, and I couldn't find it on Tubi or anything for some reason.
It was on Prime.
I couldn't find it. Yeah, I went on Prime and it said that I had to pay for it.
Oh.
So I was like, and so I ended up buying the movie. So now I technically own it. Because it cost as much to buy it as it did to rent it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe if it's an okay film, I can revisit this later. I'm like, no, damn it.
No, there's no redeeming value here. But anyway,
nope.
I think we've dug ourselves into the ground enough with this one and buried it 6 feet under.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer, a little bit farther down. But that's going to do it for this week with our Coulrgoria Marathon. Next week, we know our film. It's one that I've been wanting to check out and one that got a lot, buzz, quote unquote, when it was being made. So it's just one of those that was like a short and then it got developed into a feature. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, you can look forward to anything. It's always going to be a letdown. But hopefully, this might be the one that steps up its game. But we shall see when we conclude our Coulrgoria Marathon next week. And then, Ian, it's our Halloween Marathon for October. Woo! And, usually October, once we do the clown stuff, October comes around and usually picks up our spirits in good fashion. So, Ian, as always, it's great talking with you about these shitty movies. And we've been having a field day. But as always, hopefully everyone else is having a field day. So we will see you next time as we conclude our Coulrgoria Marathon. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next time.